Have you ever been into a room and someone very charismatic, very charming suddenly comes into the room? The entire energy shifts almost in the click of the fingers and everyone starts looking at them and everyone is smiling at them. And you might be thinking, oh, it's genetic. He was born like this. Charisma is an unlearnable skill. That is the first mindset that I will cover in today's video. And also a second one that is really close to it is that charisma is only about attractiveness and it is not about anything else. So that's why in today's video I'm going to cover both of these mindsets and to show you which ones are true and which ones are completely wrong. And by the way, if you don't know me, my name is Martin. I've been studying charisma and communication skills for 3 years straight and have helped clients in the same position as you are in right now to achieve social mastery. The first mindset that people a lot of times have is that charisma is not trainable. They are born with it. And let me tell you something. Charisma is something like a series of behaviors. One of my favorite communication coaches said this, Vin Jiang, and he said, charisma and communication is just a series of behaviors. And tell me, can you change behaviors? Can you become that person who will smile at that specific situation? Yes. Can you become that person who will, in this situation, have this specific type of body language? Yes, because you have trained the behavior in that situation. Everything, my entire speaking ability right now, my eye contact, my hand gestures, everything is only a behavior. You can learn everything that I'm teaching on this channel just by observing and listening to me. That means the final answer to is charisma genetic is no. Because I was not born charismatic, I was entirely toxic throughout my entire life and I was always saying to people that they are toxic, but in fact I was the one toxic. I was constantly telling them how stupid they are and I was constantly mocking them and never letting them express themselves. And who would want to talk to a person like that? But finally, I removed those behaviors or I added new ones. The ones that complimented the other person, the ones who listened to the other person. And naturally, I became more charismatic. And it can be also done in anything else. It can be done in body language, it can be done in speaking, in listening. Doesn't matter what it is. And listen, this is gonna make you extremely motivated, what I'm about to tell you right now. Every single one of us has a category in charisma they're extremely talented in. So yes, it a little bit makes sense. But 99% of charisma attributes, nobody is good at. No one. But for every single one of us, there is this one little category that we are extremely good in. For example, someone might be extremely good at empathy and they might listen to people, they might understand them and they immediately know what they are thinking. But someone else, they might not be good at listening whatsoever. But this other person is talented at speaking. He knows how to make people feel his message with confidence and with so much emotion. But that person who was on this side, he is not really of a good speaker. He's saying, guys, yeah, I was thinking, yeah, I think we can go to the forest. But he's good at listening. He knows how to make people feel amazing by speaking, but this guy makes people feel amazing when he speaks. So every single one of us has a talent, a trait that is higher than the others. And that is the trait that we don't really need to focus on because we naturally know that we are good at this trait. But when we improve in these guys, the speaking, and in these guys, the listening, you can incredibly understand how all of them will become much more charismatic because they have just now leveled up this skill of listening or speaking. And they will naturally become much more charismatic. That means being born charismatic is true to a little bit of an extent because every single one of us has some different parents. Maybe his parents were extremely good at empathy and they always listened to him and that's how he acquired that knowledge. But this guy, he had an amazing parents that were great speakers. They were lawyers, for example, and they knew how to get their ways in tough conversations and that's how he learned how to speak better. But we also need to not forget that they are still skills that we need to improve on. So this entire mindset is completely debugged. Yes, everybody has their strong points and weak points, but we need to focus on our weak points and improve them to improve our relationships with other people and to improve our relationship with ourselves and be much more confident in being charismatic. And that leads me to the second thing. Is being charismatic only a result of being attractive, or is it the other way around? I will give you an analogy so you can understand this better. Most people think that when they are happy, they will smile, but actually, it is the opposite way around. If you smile, you will naturally feel more happy. People think their actions come from the environment, but in fact, the action creates the environment. That means if you smile first, you'll naturally be much more happy when you go into conversations. You'll start cracking jokes. Like, for example, me, selling children on the black market for organs. You will just be confident in being yourself. And the same thing applies here. You don't get charismatic through being attractive. You become charismatic first and then you become attractive. Because imagine someone who is funny, who is always making you laugh, and who is extremely humorous. You would consider him naturally more attractive just because he has such an amazing energy around him. Because he knows how to make people laugh. Not in this cringe way, so he downplays other people and he mocks them. No, he makes everyone feel appreciated. He's not awkward. He is confident in being himself. Yes, I honestly agree. There are not a lot of people who are like that because most attractive people are already charismatic. But if you imagine a person who is maybe 4 out of 10 in attractiveness, and the person is making you constantly laugh, the person is always making you laugh literally on the spot because of his amazing jokes, you would want to spend more time with him because he has just an amazing personality. And it doesn't matter that he's an unattractive person because you would still want to spend time with him. And that is the entire point of charisma. Because you want to spend time with people who are charming. And when a person is making you constantly laugh, you want to spend the time with him. I once had this one friend, and I honestly have to say he was maybe 6.5 out of 10, like maybe a little bit above average. Not something crazy. But he was so funny. Whenever I was with him in the gym, he always cracked such amazing jokes. And every single time I laughed when I was with him. So that is why you need to understand charisma is not from being attractive, it's what makes you attractive. And that is how you can achieve charisma mastery by just changing these two mindsets right now. And that means now that you understand that charisma is actually a learnable skill, I have a special surprise for you. My name is Martin and I've been studying charisma and communication skills for 3 years straight. And as the first link in the description is my private community and my full program of teaching charisma. So if you want to achieve social mastery in just 4 months, then you can click the first link in the description. And just a little side point for you. The price is now literally 25% off, not monthly, lifetime. So you will just pay $50 to be there forever. So if you want to become the most charismatic version of yourself in just 4 months, click the first link in the description. I will see you right there. And by the way, if you want to know how I learned how to never run out of things to say, then you should click this video right here. Live a happy life.